It's notes. So, I gotta tell you, it was the first thing I did want to mention was how great our previous speakers were. I do want to mention that I didn't just write that. That was actually there before, but really, let's give it up for the maid of honor and the best band. You know what? I love the sound of applause. I want to keep it going a little bit more. So let's give it up both for Lenny and Beth's parents. How about that? But I gotta be honest, I like it loud. So I need one more round. I like a good pause. You're gonna have to bear with that. For Lenny's grandmother, Yola. How about that? Here tonight. So some of you people probably don't know who I am. That's okay. That changes now. My name is David. Some people call me Deuce. I'm 36. You can call me David. Thank you very much. So why am I up here? Well, I'm up here tonight because when I was 20 years old, Lenny and Beth had asked me to speak at their wedding. So I said, yeah. I was super excited because I was like, this is gonna happen soon. And I was so excited. I went home that night and I wrote something. So I'm gonna bring that out. I'll be honest with you, I'm a procrastinator. This was not completed, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm a little nervous too. So Lenny and Beth, that was a great night at the Underground. I'm in my room, I can't sleep, so
Wonder why.
I thought I would write some words. Lenny, tonight, you wore your cargo shorts, you wore your UNC shirt, and you had a shit ton of gel in your hair. God, I can't wait until that fad ends. So, I was a little dirty from the Underground, and I took a shower before I wrote this. And in the shower, I saw a single strand of hair in my hand. And I said to myself, this better not be a trend. So many handsome and beautiful faces that I got a chance to go to college with. And I just cannot wait to walk across the stage with every single one of them. What's funny is that only 4 of them made it across the stage. I love them all though. So tomorrow when I wake up, I will finish writing this speech, I promise. And that's it. But I did write more, if that's okay. I don't want to take up too much time. So much more to come. So many handsome faces in the crowd tonight. I do not know where to begin before I start with our lovely bride and groom. But I will say that we are lucky enough that both Tim and Mike Phelan came this evening. We are so happy to have you both here tonight. Thank you. Also, Tom Ballswitch is here this evening. I know a lot of people don't know some of the people that I'm mentioning, so I want to make it a little bit easier. And to be honest, I'm sitting down and I'm like, I can't think of a single story about Tom that nothing pops out of my mind. So it's okay, a little crowd participation. Well, anybody who has a crazy story or memory about Tom, please do me a favor and put your hand in the air. Raise them up high. Tom, how come Grandma Yola's got her hand raised? I gotta know. Oh man. You know what? I had one more person I was gonna pick, and I really don't know where to go. So I'll just say real quick that I'm lucky enough to be a part of an amazing group of friends, and I love every single one of you. So I just wanted to say that. So what is it now? 18 years ago, these two got together. I know a lot of the young children here were not born. I know some people might not remember 1996. So I wanted to take a moment and remind everybody about what happened in 96. The #1 movie was Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire. But I think what the bigger symbolism from 1996 is the fact that the #1 song was coincidentally the only dance Lenny will do, and that was the Macarena. So I need you guys to do me a favor. He'll only do it if he's tugged. At some point tonight, you have to ask Lenny to give you his Macarena because it's one word, and that's special. And I can't wait for us all to see it. All right, I'm moving along. It's getting there. So what's my first memory of Lenny? I gotta tell you is I was 18 years old. It was 1996, coincidentally. And I met Lenny, and I gotta tell you, it's hard to tell up here, but I was lean, I was mean, I was looking good. I had bangs, an attitude. And I met this guy Lenny, and I gotta tell you something. If you want to know what Lenny looked like in 1996, so, there it is. You know? The fountain of youth, kids, cargo shorts. That's not a joke. Actually, it is, but it's true. So, I see this guy Lenny. We live in this dorm room, Osceola Hall, and I'm like, yeah. The ones who aren't cheering really enjoyed Osceola Hall. So, I was like, I could beat this guy in a foot race. And we were talking and we were drinking, and I was like, you know what, Lenny, I can beat you in a foot race. So sure enough, we raced, and Lenny kicked the shit out of me. And what did I say about Lenny to me is that this is a guy who's fast. But as I grew to know him, this is a man who's got commitment, who's got heart, who's got a passion for food like me. And that's a great way for me to lead into my words about Beth. And you wonder why I make this transition. Well, I like a joke, I like a moment, and I thought maybe I'll tell you guys a story about how I got mono. That's right, monomaniculosis. So Lenny and I have this passion for food. At the time I worked at this restaurant, Roadhouse Grill, and if you're cheering, I don't know why. And one night I decided to steal a prime rib, because I wanted it. It was 64 ounces, nobody ate it, and it was good. So I walked out with it under my shirt. Literally, 64 ounces of prime rib. And I get home, and I'm like, Lenny, we got prime rib. So me and Lenny stood up behind the kitchen counter with a fork, same fork, and shared this prime rib down to the bone. I didn't know something though. Lenny had mono. It's funny, but it gets worse. Because Beth gave him that mono. That's where my story ends. I don't know the rest of it. What I gotta tell you is, I got mono myself from that fork, from that night. And I had to tell people that I got mono from sharing a fork with Lenny eating 64 ounces of prime rib. But I'll tell you, is my first actual memory of Beth is, you know, we had heard, Beth is a year younger than us, so I'd heard about Beth and this and that and how great she is. And I remember meeting her at a party, and well, Lenny pointed her out, and I thought he was kidding. I was like, come on, Lenny, that's not Beth. I know who Beth is. There was this girl standing in the background who had a limp and a mustache. But I was wrong. Happily wrong. How amazingly gorgeous is this woman, ladies and gentlemen? So, you have to forgive me, I actually wrote this on my father's Mercedes vehicle checklist. I didn't write it actually, my beautiful girlfriend Christy was kind enough to write it while I dictated it in the car, so the notes are a little sporadic, but the handwriting is perfect, baby. So what do I admire about Beth and Lenny and what has this relationship taught us? Well, Beth has this class, she has this poise, you know? And you could see the frustration at times in her face with Lenny. And you could tell that sometimes Beth would look down on Lenny. And that's not because he's 5'1". It was. But really the love and admiration for these two will sum up in my final story before I end this disaster. And it's very recent. As I was in the car going to the rehearsal dinner not just 2 days ago. And I just sat and listened because I had never met Beth's beautiful mother. I hadn't seen Lenny's beautiful mother and Lenny in 30 years. And I gotta tell you that they were deciding, so what's happening here is they're deciding what song they're gonna use. You know, like what's the song? So it was, and we heard it, lovely, it was All of Me by John Legend, who lives up to his name. Everybody, fantastic artist. But I'm thinking to myself, 18 years? And we're now just figuring out what the song is? I mean, Lenny, nothing from Wu-Tang. 36 Chambers. Nothing. Beth, nothing from Garth Brooks, No Country, nothing stuck out. Well, anyways, it reminded me about something, is that love does not have a script, and this story has been writing for 18 years, and there's a whole lifetime to go. And I was also reminded that All of Me from John Legend is a beautiful song, but a horrible visual. I let that hang for a second, guys. That's the clip. So I need a favor, real quick. I'm gonna end this right now, and I just need you all to help me out on something that our friends and I have done very well very often, and that's let's just raise a glass. Let's put it up nice and high. And let's cheers the two winners tonight, Lenny and Beth, huh? And I thank you all for your time.
Yeah!